out there in Righteous Rebel Land. You may also be catching us from LinkedIn or YouTube, and we welcome you too. And just say thank you for sharing your time with us today. This is the March 1st edition of Live and Unscripted with your host, Jennifer Saunders, coming straight to you from the Righteous Rebels. So if you're new to the broadcast, Live and Unscripted is a program where I typically interview people who I have had very little interaction or conversation with. I meet them. I sense something is pretty amazing about them. I have a small conversation, and then I say, "Hey, do you want to come be on Live and Unscripted?" And then it's what it says it is. It's live and unscripted. I ask one question at the beginning of our conversation, and then we just let inspiration be the guide. And I can tell you, it has been some of the most fun conversations I get to have. And I love it when our guests just really get in and they just let their hair down and they give you the real pieces of them. And I know something that you're really going to enjoy too. So lately I've met some really amazing people by way of my trip to India and business people, and I've been bringing them to you as well, and more of those will be scheduled soon. Last week we had Kate Burke, who is going to be one of the guides for our August Surviving Leadership Challenge, retreat. If you have not had information or you want to know information, reach out, go over to the Righteous Rebels page and send us a message, because you're going to want to know about this. Here's how we define leadership, and this one is specifically for women. We will be creating one for men, but right now it's for women. And here's leadership. It's not something that's given to you. It's not something that you strive for, or that is like another rung in the ladder. It's, if you're alive, you are, my guest just said her screen shared. If you are alive, you are a leader. If you're leading a family, if you're leading a classroom, if you're leading a community group, or if you're leading a corporate organization, you're a leader because you were born to be a leader. And so we're taking you out and helping you. Our concept is that in order to level up your leadership, you have to level up your life. And so we have created an amazing opportunity for you to level up your life, to step into some challenges. They're going to just stretch those comfort zones a little, maybe a lot, and providing all kinds of experiential opportunities and exercises that when you leave, you are guaranteed. This is the one thing I can guarantee. You will not be the same person who leaves as the one that arrived. And just this beautiful reminder of like, can I put that kind of money towards myself? And I'm telling you what, this is more than an investment in just a week. It's an investment in a lifetime. One of the most beautiful things I heard Kate say is, this is not about a week adventure. This is an opportunity that bleeds into the rest of your life. And for us, because our job is to eradicate zombies and bring you and your ideas to life, I love that concept of bleeding into the rest of your lived experience. And we just want to experience that with you. So ask the questions, head on over to Righteous Rebels. You can also send a message to hello@rebelsrising.com and ask the question there, and we'll get you the details. So with that said, thank you for joining us today for this new edition, March 1st edition of Live and Unscripted. And we're going to start how we always start, and that's just with some simple breathing. Taking a moment to just let go of the day that's already happened, and to let go of what you think is going to happen in the rest of the day, and just get yourself right here, right now, in the present moment where all the magic happens. It also allows for us as the people in the conversation to really allow inspiration to take the lead. And if you have questions, you can stick them in the comments. Please comment along the way. We love to see that kind of stuff. But for today, the breathing is going to be this. We're going to do a little different from the box breathing, which is you're going to breathe in through your nose, maybe 4 to 6 count. You're going to hold that inhale, and then through your mouth, you're just going to really let all the air out of your lungs, expel all of it. And then just start over. Fill those lungs all the way down into your pelvis. Hold that inhale, and then blow it out through your mouth. We'll do the first one together. And then I'm going to invite you to let's do 3 or 4 on your own. As you do this, I'm going to invite you to take a downward gazed or closed eyes, whichever suits and feels better for you. So again, breathing in through your nose, 4 to 6 count, holding that inhale, and then exhaling all the way, emptying those lungs, starting over. So go ahead and take that downward gaze or close eyes. Take that first inhale. Really feel those lungs and hold it, 4 to 6 count, and let it go. And now go ahead and do 3 or 4 on your own. Go ahead and finish up the cycle that you're in. And when you're ready, go ahead and open up those eyes. I love this exercise. 1, because it's simple. 2, because it doesn't take long. And 3, it can be done anywhere. It could be done sitting in your office. It could be done hanging out with your kiddos while they're playing around. It could be done hanging out with your kiddos while they're making you doing things that make you want to feel crazy. It could be done sitting in your car in traffic, or maybe in a moment where you're wanting to have a little road rage. It can be done on the side of a pool. It can be done in the library. It can be done anywhere and everywhere. And for me, I love the feeling of just feeling my heart and my mind slow down. And just taking note of how I actually am feeling in that moment, and what may be going on that's wanting to cause a ruckus on the inside of me, and just pausing and being in the space where I can then evaluate and be responsive versus reactive. So I encourage you to take the little tool and to practice it daily, probably often daily. And just, I would love to hear in the comments how it affects you. What do you gain from taking these few, just even 60 seconds of breathing? What did you notice for yourself? And how do you feel like it could assist you moving forward? And thanks for joining us in that today. All right, let's get going. Our guest today is actually someone who I have known her entire life. We've had a lot of really amazing moments, and we've had some probably less stellar moments. We've had an opportunity to practice our talents together, and to like uplift other people's lives by way of performing. She's totally in the green room. I'm giggling because I can see her. You can't. It looks like she's flipping me off, but I'm pretty sure she is flipping me off. She's just doing this. So I'm going to bring our guest, Amber Beck, online today, and I'm going to let her just introduce. Well, we'll just see what happens. This is Amber. You're online. You're online. Yeah, you.
We'll sorry, I'm still stuck in my breathing exercises. Whew.
Yeah, how was it
just
for
finishing
you?
Up.
Right. How was
it?
Good.
It was good, and actually, I've used those breathing exercises to reduce my heart rate at times, because, sometimes you get a fast heart rate and you don't know why, and so you just need to chill.
Or do you know why, and you just trying to let it go, trying to just.
No, mine is because since I had long COVID and I had digestion issues that then led to anxiety issues that caused random heart racing for no reason and anxiety. Once that was a tool that I used to help bring that heart rate down, bring my nerves down, calm me down. And now we've dealt with a lot of the digestive issues, so it doesn't happen very often ever.
Yeah. Can you put your face closer to the computer? Take your glasses up. Yes. Yes. I wanted to make sure your nose was clean. Yeah. Take your glasses off.
Why?
I was just thinking if there could be any resemblance as to why we might know each other so well.
Maybe if I weren't so puffy, we'd look more like each other.
You be nice to yourself. Amber actually is my sister. She's 5.5 years younger than I am, and so we've got to have all the experience that life brings as being sisters. As a younger person, I honestly thought she was super duper annoying because she just wanted to be doing everything I wanted to be doing, and my mom would always say,
"You're not old enough,
right? She's 5.5 years older than you. Like
I don't care.
You just have to wait your time."
I don't want to wait.
Right?
I want to be going and doing.
Oh, she was the youngest of the original 4 of us, and
the OGs.
Of the OGs, and we had some times. What I love about Amber is she is a forever learner. Like she's always learning something, and she gets so excited about the stuff that she learns, and she just like has to share it, and it's so dorky and so amazing at the same time.
Totally.
I mean, that's we all do that. Like we get excited about, oh my heck, I learned this thing, and blah, 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 and I got to tell you about it. She's like one of the best at that. She is a absolute lover of outdoors and nature, and I love that we have that family trait together. Our the brother just older than Amber also carry. Did Cody carry that trait?
Oh heck yeah!
Not as much. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hunting, fishing.
Oh, that's right.
Camping.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so she's an incredible mom. She's always just trying to do the best by her kids. Wow, that just made me emotional.
I'm like, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't do that.
I know it's too early.
And I really appreciate that. But just full disclosure, I really appreciate those mom compliments. But I have let all of my boys know that they will more than likely need therapy later on in life.
I totally told my kids I will do the best. I'll do the best that I absolutely know how to do, but more than likely I will have to pay for some of your counseling later. I didn't say I'd
pay for it.
Right? That just someone is saying, I remember when you sang together, it blew me away. I don't know who.
Oh, who is this Facebook user?
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
And thank you.
It's not showing. Yeah, thank you. That's like so amazing. It's Megan McDonald. Megan, thanks for that comment. I know. Do you remember Megan?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. She and I have been in contact, so she's one of our righteous rebels. Okay, so there's a lot of things I could tell you about Amber, but I feel like there's going to be some great conversation. She's seriously like has the dumbest, funniest sense of humor that I know. She's just a good soul. She's just a good soul, and I love that we as older people have figured out how to be friends and how to really enjoy each other's strengths and support each other in our weaknesses. And it's been a beautiful thing for me as the big sister and just as an adult person to watch you.
Don't do it. Okay, let it go. Just let it flow. Let it flow.
Just to watch you go through your like growing process.
Yeah, it's been an adventure, huh?
Yeah. And I know that you have a lot to share. Gosh dang it. So this is me. I'm a total M&M. I have the, little tougher outer shell, but I'm all melty on the inside for those of you who are new to the program. And I love big. And this is someone who I love big.
Thanks, Tooth. I love you too.
So Amber, here's the question. Here's the first question.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Are you sure you're ready?
Well, I've been waiting for like a week.
What were you like as a kid? What did you want to? Yeah, what were you like, and then what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I don't really remember this, but when I was a kid, there's mom's calling right now.
Oh,
Mom used,
tell her to go watch us live.
hold on. Mom, I'm on live with Jay. Go to Facebook and watch us.
Hello?
Mom, I'm on live with Jay. Go to Facebook and watch us. Pull over your car. Go to Facebook. Right. Okay, love you, bye. Mom used to tell me, well, because grandpa and the horses, and I definitely was born into the wrong family, in the wrong generation.
Right.
In the most perfect way. But mom used to tell me when I was a little girl, I'd say, Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a cowgirl and wear tight pants.
I do not remember that.
I don't really either, but definitely she reminded me of that. So me as a kid, oh heck, I was just a free spirit. I just kind of, I'm just a grown up version of myself as a kid, because I'm still a kid.
Right, that's me. Like never quite grew up.
Right, adultness is way overrated.
Amen.
I'd rather be out behind Sister Thurman's house up there on Fairway with Nick and Mike in a puddle of water, throwing in the seed pods from the tree and making a witch's brew, than like going to work every day. Yeah, it's overrated. Yeah. So me as a kid, I think I was just really adventurous. And always
you definitely didn't have, speaking of adventurous, you definitely didn't have any kind of care for rules.
Still don't.
I know.
I haven't changed. I think that's one of my best qualities. I would comply with like the standard rules, but when it was like, that just doesn't make any sense, I'm like, nah. How come you say I didn't have any inkling for rules?
Well, I look at the two of us.
What stands out to you?
What's that?
What stands out to you?
What stands out to me? Well, just the difference in our personalities. I'm oldest child. You were the youngest at that point, or for some of that point, and I was
10 years.
Very halo wearing, like follow the rules, even make up some of my own. I didn't dare I didn't want to be in trouble, and you just were like, whatever, I'm going to sneak out every damn night if I want.
Oh, okay, so we're going into adolescence now. Right? Because I'm still thinking of myself as this cute kid with a bad haircut. No offense, Mom.
Yeah, well, and totally style of your own. We're just going to say that's total style of your own. Punky Brewster. You guys remember Punky Brewster? Amber was Punky Brewster.
Still am. Still am. I do not care if what I wear matches or makes sense to anybody else.
Right.
Just be grateful I'm wearing clothing. Okay. So just saying. Yeah, but no, I definitely, I think I started to kind of rebel under my breath in about 7th grade, and then took some crazy adventures through 8th and 9th grade of just doing kind of stupid things, figuring life out. And then again,
why don't I remember this? But by then I was out of the house.
And 8th and 9th grade, we lived in Utah.
Yeah, that's right.
And I have lots of angels, lots of like legions of them, because they're like, oh, she's gonna go for it, and I was always, good and protective. But no, I think that was how I learned. Is I just did stupid things, and luckily for me, my stupid things didn't lead to massive consequences. It was all them angels protecting me. They knew I needed to be a mom. Now I'm gonna get. You got me.
It's in the family genes.
They knew I had stuff to do. So, man, I'm real grateful for that part of me, though. For that part of me that has always rebelled against just any social norm or societal, construct that I'm like, that's complete bullshit. And I refuse to comply. And I think that's my journey of being that person that just kind of does whatever and always is a little bit against the grain has allowed me to raise some real warriors. So
For sure. So it keeps coming to me, like I'm totally agreeing with you. Like those three boys are like
they're awesome.
Some of the funnest, smartest young men, you know, that I know, and in the most untraditional kind of ways. It's fun to watch how they learn.
But they're not weird. I mean, they're weird like me weird, but they're not like awkward.
Yeah. Well,
you know, like
here's the deal though. Like when at the Spitfire, when they come and help out at the Spitfire, which if you guys don't know what the Spitfire is, go to spitfireultra.com. And it's a trail race, and we would love to have you there as well. Amber and her boys, her family, come and help out. And I remember one of my friends last year was up top on the volcano taking pictures, and I think it was Dalton.
Yeah, it was Dalton.
She's like, "Oh my gosh, I just had hours of conversation with this 10-year-old. He just kept asking questions and talking." And that is the thing I love about your boys is that, and any boys who do this. So parents, encourage your kids to do this. Have conversations. Be curious. That's right. And not be afraid to talk to people who are older than them.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing.
Yeah. And you know, because I've homeschooled my kids for I think this is our 5th year. And part of that, kind of breaking out of that construct of the world, is that in school you're with 25 kids your age. You spend 8 hours of your day with kids your age, and really the only other adults are like your teachers and people in the school. But being homeschooled, where we interact on the regular with people of all different ages, in all different walks of life, it allows them to build communication skills that are just different. Not worse, not better, just different. Right. And that has been really beneficial. And it is real cool, real neat when people come to me and say, "Wow, your kids are pretty flipping awesome," or they, just tell me how my kids stand out in a positive way. And I think that's awesome. As a mother, of course, that makes me feel really proud. Not judging other people and their choices, because to each their own. But yeah, it's I'd say motherhood has been the most epic, just challenging and fun and just continuing adventure there is. My boys are my ride or die. That's what I love about it.
How old are your boys now?
Amber, no girls for her. Nope. No. If I had a girl,
I'm surprised I didn't get girls, or that I didn't get boys.
Yeah. She'd have been feral, like just wild child, But my boys are always down to take some wild adventure with me, drive up on the mountain, go fishing, go on a hike, do whatever. And yeah, this has been so fun. So fun.
I love it. How old are your boys?
16, 14, 11. And speaking of that age thing, my youngest called shotgun and hopped in the front seat. And the middle one says, no, you're too young. You can't ride in the front seat. And I said, be quiet, just get in the back. Mom, when I was 11, I didn't get to ride in front seat. I said, I don't care. Things change. So he, that's the opposite. So apparently with the youngest one, I'm a little more generous with my rules.
Yeah. So I think there's that's a common thread among parenthood.
Yep.
So as you were talking about your experiences, middle school, junior high, you said you had a lot. And as you were talking, this question came to mind of what's something that stood out for you, an experience that stood out for you in one or two of those experiences that you were like, it really maybe was a pivot point for you, or stands out as like a really big lesson learned that has now influenced or informed how you show up in the world today?
A lesson learned. I wasn't really good at learning lessons. I wasn't.
Okay, so let's go with how did it inform or influence how you show up in the world today?
I don't, other than just getting to evaluate like how I process the world then, and those choices I make it influences how I process the world today. And so I wouldn't say I had like, gosh, any real not pivot points, like no, because I always just I was defiant. Like I got kicked out of I got kicked out of choir in ninth grade, and the
What?
teacher, oh yeah, like completely kicked out. Teacher takes me down to the office and says blah 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 blah, and I'm like, whatevs. So then this assistant principal guy starts writing up my document to say what she said happened and blah blah blah, and that I'm getting suspended for the rest of the year from this class and whatever. And here I am, 14 years old, and he goes, here, take a look at that. And I read it, and he goes, okay, I want you to sign right here. And I said, I'm not signing anything. At 14 years old, said, nah, I won't be signing that. I don't agree with it. Well, but I said, do whatever you need to do. Anyway, I don't even really know mom's involvement in that, but mom was cool because she was always, this weird way was just like, yeah, Amber's good. She's good. So literally, I don't even think they called her or brought her to school. I got this paper that I refused to sign, and I walked home. And I usually rode the bus to school, but they just like shooed me out the door, and I just walked home. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I don't have a final class the rest of the year, so I'll just walk home. She was like, okay.
Wow.
That's kind of me. Like, so not like a pivot point, but that's kind of who I am in terms of when I feel passionate or strongly about something, I will stand my ground to the end without apology.
So how do you feel like you develop? So for the person listening, maybe even the host of this show, like how did you do that? Like it's taken me forever to like have the courage to do that and to go against the grain, and you really honestly always just did it. So for the person listening, like what is that in you, and how can you withstand some of the pressures or all of the pressures of everyone else's voice and thumb pushing down or fingers wanting to poke in or stirring? How do you do that?
That is a really great question. And I actually kind of thought about that because I thought maybe we might chat a little bit about this today. And I've thought about that this last few days and what it is about me. And because I know you've been on this journey, of self-discovery and building strength and being a strong, person in your own right. And without all that garbage. Right. And I've watched you over the years change and morph and grow and go through your process. And I didn't go through. I think the process I went through was we process childhood differently because we're different human beings, right? All four of us OGs had very similar experiences growing up, and we all process them differently. And then we manifest however that is differently in our lives. And I guess maybe when I was being formed upstairs and I got sent down, I just got like this little extra juice that said, you're tough and you can do this and you're not gonna. I think I didn't because so to put it in context, everybody has experiences throughout their whole life. Our formative years, we all process whatever happens in our family, in our schooling, or whatever differently, right? I would say I think I was a complete outsider in grade school. I was a complete outsider. I did not have any friends. I felt very alone. I felt very judged, like kind of like just an outcast. And so I think maybe because that's how I felt, whether it's true or it's how I processed it.
Right.
It helped me develop a relationship with myself to where I didn't have friends to rely on. I didn't have a network. Most kids got their group of friends and they do their thing and they all kind of rely on each other for support and for learning and whatever. And maybe where I felt like I didn't have that experience I've developed that relationship with myself, and I'm like, I'm just going to do me. And I've always just done me.
Yeah. Yes,
And
yes, you have. Like,
always have.
like and I've had moments where I'm like, she's such an idiot. Like, I can't believe that. But that's in my like own like self-righteous perfectionistic. I have to follow the rules. I have to be responsible. I have to like toe the line. I'm the
Right.
oldest of the like
Right.
the processing piece that I did, and it's taken me a while to be like, she might just be able to teach me something.
Well, and I think that goes into just something deeper. And as adults, we like from birth throughout our entire life, we are immediately influenced by our parents. And then we're
God bless
influenced
them.
by,
God bless parents everywhere.
well, because we're all just doing our best and we're going through
Absolutely.
our programming, right? So we're
Absolutely.
influenced by our parents, by our family, extended families. Then we go to public school and we're influenced by the teachers, and then and all the other kids that have all of their influences. And this construct starts to be built that this is the way it's supposed to be,
Well, and
right?
you got to tie in religion, whatever
Well,
religion you're brought up in, or
I about to tie
spirituality.
that in. So then, whatever your religion, then you're influenced by your religious teachers. And so, in our very formative years, we're being taught to conform to a certain acceptable way of behaving and processing life and expectations.
Right.
And so we get to be adults who bring this stuff with us. So then when other people don't conform to the construct that we built, that was so lovingly given to us,
Yeah.
then it creates separation, it creates judgment. Then when we fall down or we fall short of that construct, then we judge ourselves and we ding on ourselves. And it's just this whole thing. I think my whole journey has been, I could give a shit about the construct. I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I don't care how you judge me, because I'm not judging you. And so that makes it easy for me to just allow you a space. And quite honestly, you are the one and your experiences that help me grow exponentially in that area. And your journey of leaving a marriage, going through change, going into another marriage, allowed me the opportunity to come to a place of, like, it doesn't matter, love is what matters. So when you look at the whole construct, I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. I don't care, like, if you want to be super fancy, if you want to be, we'll use labels. If you want to be trailer trash, if not want to be, but people are on a level playing field with me, and we're just good because we're all here having an experience. So anything I
Right.
can do to just bring joy and kindness and love that makes a difference. But really through you making decisions and choices that literally destroyed the construct, right, that I was given, because I was still, we still have all these little pieces, and then we
Sure.
have to figure out how, whether we're going to conform to it or not. No, it just really created a cool space for me to just go, I don't have to agree with somebody to love them.
So
And to me, that's huge.
yeah, and I appreciate that. So as you're talking, the question comes to mind of how do you stay okay inside yourself when when you know that someone else isn't disagreeing, or they could maybe even be talking trash, or they're like, how do you stay okay?
Well, I'm not seeking anyone's approval. That's like number one. I'm not seeking anyone's approval, and I don't need you or them or someone else to be okay with me. And just this conversation is kind of cool because I've never really thought, like, why am I the way I am? I'm just like, this is just who I am.
Right.
But maybe I've had some self-discovery in this discussion of I developed that relationship with myself when I was a kid. And I guess that's carried through. And I mean, yeah, I've always just been an outsider. And like in high school, everybody knew me. Everybody knew me. But I didn't have friends. I didn't go hang out
Right.
with people. I didn't know, I sang at just about every assembly. I was a member of President's Club. I was president of my choir. I was in show choir. I did all these things and have these accomplishments, and everybody goes, "Oh, Amber, you're so great." But I didn't have friends, so I had me. I had me to rely on, and me to entertain myself, and me to talk to. And so I don't know. I think maybe that's a cool thing to think about, is how much time are we relying on having that relationship with ourselves instead of looking for approval from outside of ourselves, from our family, from our husband or wife, or spouse, friends, whoever. So yeah, and honestly, if someone's talking trash about me, I think it's funny, because I just go, hey, it's okay, they're just not, they're just not for me. And I've been able to teach my kids, and that's a huge blessing, is that through having become who I am and been through my experiences, I'm teaching my kids, your people are your people, and your people that aren't your people aren't your people, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
And you just build those relationships with the people that want to love you for you. It doesn't mean you're always going to get along, but then I also encourage, don't get along and have a discussion about it.
That piece right there is be willing and open
Mm-hmm.
to have a
Let's talk
discussion
about
and
it.
to see what's somebody said something to me. I may slaughter this, hopefully not. I met a woman who we have very different thought processes on
Mm-hmm.
all of the stuff that's been going on in the world. And she was making some assumptions in regards to me and what I believed. And I was like, do I say something? Do I just continue listening? And finally I was like, well, actually, I blah blah blah. And she looked at me and I was like, oh. And then we had this most beautiful discussion about why I saw things the way I saw them, why she may see things the
Mm-hmm.
way she saw them.
Yeah.
And like, seriously, two completely different. It could have been ugly and blow up right there at the middle of the park on the pickleball court. And instead, I learned something. She said, I had a professor once who said to me, um, I don't remember exactly, but it had to do with this. Like, what about what that other person's saying is right? Like, what are they saying that's right? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
what are you looking at, and the way you're looking at it that could be skewed or incorrect? And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like it really made for this incredible conversation to just step back
Yep.
and go, okay, I'm actually open to what they're saying. And I
Mm-hmm.
left there feeling not judged, not caring, and actually thought I'd have another conversation with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, and really the not feeling not judged part, most of the time that's self-imposed.
Absolutely.
We're actually judging them, saying they're judging us, I mean, most of what's not right is right here.
Absolutely.
It's in our own insecurities, it's in our own mind. But I love that, and that's something that just naturally through my progression in life that I've cultivated, and that is the ability to see things from someone else's perspective. And so if I disagree with something someone says, or something challenges my my ideas, my construct, I like to try and look at it from their perspective. Say, okay, what is it? How can I look at this differently to understand it a little better? And maybe I won't understand anything better, but oftentimes you can come to something that you're like, oh, okay, now I can see that, I can understand it. You don't have to agree.
Right.
Like that's a major misconception in life. You have to agree. No, the whole point is to have different perspective, different views, different ideas. And in my mind, as long as those views, things aren't hurting you or someone else, right on. have a different point of view. You do you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really an awesome realization in just kind of navigating life, because we're all incredibly different. Thank goodness.
Don't you think, like for me, when I really started learning the concepts of, everyone has a story, everyone has these experiences that mold and shape them up to the points that they are, that do influence and inform the decisions that they make, whether consciously or unconsciously. And when I started realizing that I, I'm trying to decide how to put it so it's succinct. What has that person experienced in their world? So I guess it's the extending grace piece, meeting someone where they're at, is what have they experienced in their world that is now causing them to show up the way that they are right now, which then causes me to, I've actually had conversations where I've gone up to people who are just annoying the crap out of me and say, hey, so I'm finding myself having a little bit of a rub with what you're saying. Can we have a conversation? And I will tell you, in 100% of those conversations, I come away humbled and I learn something really valuable. And because it's like that rub is something that I've either need to see in myself, or they just maybe weren't expressing it. 100% of the time I come away humbled and honored to have been inside the conversation. But when I can look at people and say, I wonder what their experience is that causes them to show up like that. Now, I'm not always good at this. I wear skin. I'm human just like the rest of us. But when I am in present state of mind and I can do that, I see the world completely differently. I see people differently. I experience people differently.
100%.
So I love that you've brought that up.
Yeah. I mean, and really it just changes everything. And this lady I knew years ago, she just really kind of hated this other lady. And this other lady was kind of in a position of authority. And she just they had to work together. And so she's like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. And she decided that she'd go sit down with this lady that she was struggling with and say, I want to write a paper about you. I want to get to know you.
Wow.
And so it was more of a get to know you type of interview, to which, she was going to legitimately put together like a essay. And through that, they became dear friends, because it wasn't that they had anything between them. It's just that they didn't know each other. They didn't know each other's story, where each other came from. And that's a huge point to make. And that's where grace does come in, is because when someone does something that really just gets you wrong or whatever, or that your inclination is to judge immediately, you can just immediately step right back. Say, I don't know their story. I don't know where they came from.
Yep.
And they're doing their best. An employee of mine, we used to always joke, wouldn't it be great if people went around wearing their sign? Like, this is who I am. This is why I operate the way I operate. So, now you have perspective. But, people don't need to wear a sign. We can just keep that perspective, allow the grace. And I always encourage my boys to pay a compliment or to notice something positive in someone.
Right.
Because it makes all the difference.
Well, and that piece right there, and that's, we're going to use this as a challenge, as something, one of the yumming nuggets out of this conversation is that I'm going to challenge you, along with Amber, to every person that you meet, you find something positive, whether it's you like their shirt or you like their hair, you love the hat they're wearing, and you tell that to them. You actually say something to them. That would go into our concept of Marikai, leaving a little bit of you with every person and every place and thing that you come in contact with, that you leave them better because you had an interaction that was uplifting and positive with them.
But you know what that requires?
That you have to feel, you have to pay attention.
It requires you to see people.
Yes.
It requires you to actually be in the moment and pay attention, which we're all just on autopilot, right? My kids tease me all the time. They're like, Mom, you met another friend? Mom,
right?
You're talking.
Everybody's a friend.
Because I can't tell you people that I've met. I feel even bad right now because I can't remember her name. We've only met 3 times. The first time I saw her, I was like, wow. Her name is Diane. So she has the most beautiful vintage black and gray hair, and the way she had it was just like, wow. She looked like a magazine model from like back in the day. And I just went over to her and said, oh, your hair is so beautiful. And that created a spark between us and a conversation between us. And then it turns into a connection. And she had a daughter named Amber that passed away. And, it goes in. Then people just tell me all sorts of things about their life because I chose to make a connection.
Yes.
And
I
then
think
the
that's
next time
something
I
that
saw
we
her,
share.
yeah. And then the next time I saw her, we hugged like old friends. And another one, like we met over a banana squash and found out that she used to play cards with our great aunt and uncle out here where I live, and now when I see her, it's, hey, Charlotte, how you doing? We have a connection and like my kids are blown away. And my mother-in-law came out here once and she goes, how do you know everyone? And because this is before I even lived here. I said, because I talk to everybody, but I don't just talk to people. I see them.
Yes.
I love your outfit. I love your dress. I love your hair. And it's genuine from me. Like it's not contrived at all. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I just love people.
Right.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Right. No, I hear you. I feel you. But that's the thing is, like, for me, everywhere I go, I meet a friend, whether it's someone I know or someone I met just then. And I've had people say to me, what is different about you? And they pause and they're like, wait, you look me in the eyes when you're talking to me. Like,
and you didn't do that before.
You actually pay attention to what I'm saying. People aren't accustomed to that. That people aren't accustomed to someone saying, tell me a little bit about you. Or we just,
hey, how are you doing today? Fine. How are you? Okay, bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about that in our challenge on the hand up day. So it would have been day 3 of our Love Me challenge about creating a list, like how you can give a hand up back to yourself by creating a list of, or some kind of fun picture of like emotion words and feeling words, so that when somebody says, how are you? You actually have to think and be like, wait, I'm pretty fantastic, or I feel melancholy, or
okay. So, and there you go. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull a page out of Grandpa Miller's book, because Grandpa Miller was constantly learning new words, what they meant, and how to spell them out of the Reader's Digest. And he'd always say, what does this word mean? Quizzing me. So I'm going to come up with like the most obscure words that people don't use anymore, they've never heard of, to answer those questions.
I love it.
And then watch people react.
I love it. Right.
But I just think
how often we don't even know how we feel. Like we're not connected enough with ourselves, and which makes it even more challenging to connect with people outside of ourselves and to create those bonds and relationships, even if they're just for a passing moment.
Can I circle back real quick to one thing?
Absolutely.
I feel like our time is waning. About the how do I just do what I do without, I know you do this like on the daily. This is part of your rebel way of and I love the new slaying zombies, because most of us aren't present. We're just kind of in zombie mode, going through day to day, not present.
The living dead.
Right. Which is okay for now, because if you're just surviving, you're trying to figure out, that's okay. Absolutely. But really and truly, I think if I could just give like that one nugget of advice for just breaking out of your shell and experiencing new and different things, is just give up the need to care what other people think and to worry about their judgments, because you don't need anyone's approval, period. You just need to do the things that help you feel feel alive and feel vibrant and feel good about yourself. Don't do anything illegal. I don't recommend that. Okay. Let's just draw the line. But nonetheless, just do you and feel the freedom to be more than you ever thought you could be, and to expand yourself beyond the limitations that you put on yourself or that were instilled in you, and just go for it.
Right. So speaking of that, I'm taking notes as you're talking. Um, just so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm notating.
I was totally judging you.
I'm right. Damn you. Follow your own. No, I don't care. I don't care anything.
Right? You're not seeking my approval.
Nope. I don't even care. So, what are the things, Amber, that make you feel alive? What are some of those things that really just bring you alive and that you live to do, or that you may not always get to live as much as you would like, but you find a way to bring them in? And I actually would love for you to talk about Goldbug when after this, and how that influenced and shaped what you're going to talk about right now.
So when you said Goldbug, my mind just kind of went blank. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. What are the things that bring you alive?
Oh, okay. Okay, like the things I like live for. So, well, okay. So like I told you, I'm like a little kid in an adult body.
Yeah.
And quite literally, for me, I have constant. Well, my Instagram. On my Instagram, I say I'm in a constant state of awe and distraction.
Right.
Because I am.
Yes.
I'm driving down the road going, ooh, look at this. Ooh, look at that. Hitting the brakes to take a picture of this. Or this morning, walking out of the house to start my car. And fresh snow had fallen. Praise the Lord, the wind wasn't blowing.
Right.
And there, in the morning, there is this stillness.
Yes.
And like when my kids walked out, I said, stop. Stand still. Don't talk.
Yeah.
Just listen. And so we stood there for just about 10 seconds. And you can feel and hear the stillness. And you can hear the birds off in the distance. And that's it. That's what I live for. I live for being in that present moment, experiencing the fantastic creations and beauty all around us. I don't live for a thing to like go here or go there. I live to be right here, experiencing all of the amazing around me, because that's how I see the world. Like literally, that's how I see the world. I look out my office window and go, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at the clouds on the mountains. Or, look at those massive icicles. They're freaking amazing. Like, that's
right?
just me. Like literally, like, that's me. That's
the
how I live.
Of snow, or how it like formed because there was wind, or I hear you. I hear you.
That's what I live for. I don't know. Leah posted today on your Rebel page.
Mm-hmm.
What's that place?
Oh yeah,
that you want to go to?
Yeah.
And I liked the post, but then I went, I don't have a place.
It's right here.
I don't have a place, because I think if you only have a place, then you're not really living. You're living to get there. You're not really just living to enjoy.
Okay, but let me tell you,
people have a place that they like to go to, and whatever. But for me, I just went, I can't name a place.
Right? I struggled to name a place because I'm like, it's everywhere. But what I did put is I put Redfish Lake. And here's why. Yeah. It's because the place is actually inside me. It's a feeling that I harbor, and that like resides inside me, that I don't have to be in the place because it's already in here. Or it's the top of a mountain that I have seen spectacular.
And then you're there.
It's
and
all
you're
right here.
Yeah.
But whenever someone says go to the place, I actually say Redfish, because it's the very first place I learned to experience that. Yeah. And to be like, oh yeah, right there. And I can just breathe. And so I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I love that. And then what was the second half of that question?
It was like you and I got to go have an experience at a place called Goldbug. And I watched you all day long be in awe and gratitude. And I'm not kidding. She probably said thank you 100 times. No joke. We spent some time hiking there. We probably spent 4 hours or so
More.
just hanging out in hot water. And it was just really fun to watch her just go.
Yeah. I mean, because with all this conversation today, like that's who I am. Living for those moments of beauty, and I recognize it all. But I'm a real human being. I live a very incredibly busy and stressful life. Stresses that are chosen, stresses that are not chosen, that I have to step up to the plate and deal with. Most of the time, just with those things, you just want to put your head in the sand and be like, I don't know, I just don't want to do this today. But I've found that, like, if you just do it, if you just take that step, you write that email, you make that phone call, you make that list, you pay that bill, like as long as you take those little steps moving forward, like you get through it. But my life is very stressful, and I take on a lot. And again, that's some things I choose to take on, and some things are just a part of the reality that I've created, and the life that has kind of, that I've built around me, to where I do a heck of a lot, and I don't always, or often maybe, take that time to allow that real getaway time for myself, because that doesn't come naturally to me. And so I was so grateful, and I'd wanted to go to Goldbug for a long time. And so I was really grateful. You told me, hey, we're going on this Tuesday, and don't you cancel. I said, okay, I'm going. I'm like, I'm pulling up my big girl britches, and I'm telling my whole entire family, I'm going. I'm going. And then some shiz happened that week, and I could have very, very, very easily canceled. I could have said, no, like, this is too big. That what I got going on is too much, because it was heavy. It was big.
Yeah, I'm aware. I actually expected you to cancel.
And I knew, and I kind of thought you did, but I was like, no, I need this. I need this just one day. I just need one day to just go be in nature and just chill. And I remember you saying, oh, I was really surprised you didn't cancel. I knew you were kind of expecting that. Oh, I'm sorry, I just can't make it. So we had an epic adventure, from horrible roads, following a snowplow, and then, getting
which
above
turned
that.
out to be a blessing.
It was a big blessing. But no, and I if I could name those places, like when Leah put up that post, my mind immediately went through 4 or 5, 6 different destinations.
Yeah.
That I enjoy. But Goldbug definitely went to the very top of the list, and someplace I'd love to go back. And it really didn't. And what's cool is what I have found for me, because I don't have a lot of time or space to create those kinds of days for myself. But when I have, in 2017, I took a solo trip to New York City and Washington, D.C. And the way things shaped up for me, I know that like, I was just extra blessed, because I was making this time and space for myself. And just the way things went. And Haley and I were at the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, with nearly a soul around, no one within 50 yards of us. It was amazing. Right. And getting to the top of the Empire State Building in 4 minutes with no lines, running into the people I met from Spain on the shuttle, and now I have a family in Spain. So then with Goldbug, what I thought was really cool was that we had that amazing place mostly to ourselves. Yeah. There was only a block of time where some other people came, and then they left. I couldn't believe, for the bulk of that 4 or 5 hours that we were there, that we got to have that glorious space to ourselves. And we played, and we laughed, and we relaxed, and we were silly, and then it was the most amazing experience ever. And I can't thank you enough for it. And I'm glad we survived the drive home and didn't die.
Yeah, me too. That's a whole nother story
That's a
for
whole
another
other
day.
story. Whole other story. But no, so yeah, definitely when I can get away to do something like that, those are core memories that I just love.
So when people on the Righteous Rebel hear like, hey, it's super important that you take this time for yourself. It's super important that you invest in yourself. I know that, it may seem like a lot of dollars or it may seem like a lot of time, but the value, in my opinion, far outweighs what you're going to invest into it. Like, what would you say to somebody who's like, I don't know. I don't know if I really know her. I don't know if I can give myself that much time. I don't know if I can invest in myself that much. I don't know that. Like, what would you say to someone who's just there, whether it's a big adventure that we're doing or just like a day adventure or a workshop or whatever?
That sometimes you have to do it. You just have to do it. Just go for it and know that investing that time and potentially money in yourself is worth it. It pays off, because I think that's another thing that's kind of ingrained in us, is that we shouldn't play. And I love that you're constantly trying to teach people to play and to have joy. But I think we're taught societally it's too expensive, it's not responsible, it's whatever. And so there's some societal things that I conform to, because I don't make enough space and time for myself most of the time to do that. And so I would just tell people, like, go have an experience, because that's what you're here for. If you're not going to go live and go, like, you're a zombie, break out of your zombie shell and challenge yourself too, because it's a little bit of a challenge to make a commitment and then to follow through with the commitment. So I would just say go for it. And I've wanted to go on multiple of your adventures that I just, because look, there are those, like, yeah, I could have canceled the other day, but I wanted to go on your kayak adventure up to that lake, and I want to come, and I want to cook for your people. There's so many things that I want to do.
Right. But I want you to come cook for my people.
What I would say too is, like, if you create a space, maybe once or twice a year, and just go do one of these things, it's going to pay off dividends, because it's going to fill that part of yourself that needed filling and comforting and all those other things, and allow you to connect with yourself, so that when you're connected with yourself, you have a much easier time navigating life, because you have that relationship with yourself, and you know who you are, and you don't need to rely on other people or their you don't have to please other people.
Right.
You don't have to seek their approval or anything else to know you're okay. And these experiences that I call you Jay, sorry, it's not Jen, because she's my sister. The experiences that the space that she's creating are amazing ways to do that, to connect with yourself. She's creating and providing wonderful opportunities, like the Gold Bug trip, for you to go and spend time and just be and just relax and have an experience. And it doesn't have to be this amazing, huge, big, profound thing. It can be very quiet. It can be very simple, but it's just being a part of connecting with yourself. And I think that will help everybody in their daily life. So.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. I didn't even pay her to say that. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you pay people? Well, should I have asked for payment?
Maybe.
Crap. I need to call my agent.
Oh my gosh. We're at our hour mark. This has been so much fun. Here's the thing. I thought we actually might get into some of your, like, apothecary and things that you've learned. And so we didn't.
There's just so much.
She has so much cool knowledge that way. And so,
I'm such an onion.
Well, you're what?
I'm an onion. So many layers.
And stinky.
Rude.
It's because you didn't pay me.
Whoa.
Oh wait, no, you did just pay me. You just paid me some really huge compliments. But Amber actually is a wealth of knowledge. She is super huge into, like, natural medicines and using herbs and herb medicine. And so maybe we can just do another show, another broadcast where you get to come on and talk about all that stuff, hydroponics, and she actually lives
Google culture.
She lives, that thing. She lives in kind of nowhere.
No. You say what it is. I live in a shed.
She lives in a shed. A literal
shed. 640 square feet. 640 square feet. 3 kids, a husband, a dog, 9 cats, and they don't all come in the house.
Solar power, like everything's off solar power.
No running water.
We're
weird.
It's absolutely fabulous. Like I love to go out there and just I learned so much from her, and so we'll bring her back on and share some of those things. If you guys have questions of like that you might want to ask her as far as like herb medicine or what's the sort of culture?
Oh, Google culture gardening.
Solar
Google
power.
culture. Yeah.
Whatever she's saying.
Whatever.
If you have questions, write them down. Like let us know in the comments, and I'll start creating a list so that we have a little bit more of a guide. It won't be necessarily live. It will be live. It may not be as unscripted, but let's get your questions answered. I'm happy to do that and have Amber share her massive knowledge that way.
Are you going to pay me next time? Are you going to pay me next time?
I'll give you a cookie or a Dutch Bros.
I'm going to have to think about that. Hey, I want to know who said this has been the best hour of my day. Like, thank you so much.
That would be Megan, and I agree. Thank you so
Megan,
much.
Thank you again.
With us. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So, last word of wisdom.
One of my favorite movies from when I was a teenager is Auntie Mame, and the lead actress is Rosalind Russell. And I had my boys watch this movie last month, and they ate it up. They loved every minute of it. I could watch this. This is that movie I could watch every day. But you got to watch it. You have to go watch it. But Rosalind Russell, her character, Auntie Mame, has a motto: live, live, live.
Woo! I love it.
And so that is my nugget for the day: is live, live, live. And go watch Auntie Mame, because she's my spirit animal for real. And it's the coolest movie and has such a great message, and it's something that I guess I kind of live it, but no wonder I love the movie so much. Right? Live, live, live.
And that's perfect, because it's exactly what we're doing here at Righteous Rebels by eradicating zombies. Is we're asking you to live alive, to just come back alive, and to live, live, live. I love it. I love it. So should we sing them out? That actually kind of makes me nervous. I know, right?
Like what?
I don't think there's. I don't know. We haven't sung. We used to sing together all the time. We actually performed professionally. We both might be a little bit rusty or a lot bit rusty.
Speak for yourself.
That's true. I am a lot bit rusty. She is less rusty. She just might be crusty. Oh, I mean, just kidding. I'm kidding. Our mom is saying we're amazing. Thanks, Mom, for watching.
Thanks, Mommy. I don't know. You Are My Sunshine. Do you harmonize with
I was thinking that.
What did we do at Goldbug? Was it You Are My Sunshine? What was it?
I think
it was Amazing Grace or something.
No, it wasn't Amazing Grace. I think You Are My Sunshine.
We really should come up with something else.
We really should. We should.
Yeah.
I actually have this idea. That's why I keep asking you why you're coming to town, because I think it would be really fun to go on tour, and just when you're here, just go sing a little ditty. I'm putting this out there to the whole world right now, just so you know. Go into different places, whether it's a bathroom or that place by the Snake River that's like the cement bridge.
I've always wanted to do the rest area videos.
Yeah.
Go sing in the different rest areas.
Because it has such amazing acoustics.
Mm-hmm.
So I've thought that that's why I keep asking, when are you coming to town? When are you coming to, because I want to go on tour with you.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Well, it could be a lot of fun.
I mean, we don't really know a lot of songs anymore.
I don't either. But it would give us something to do. We could do them a cappella.
Yeah.
We'll figure that piece out. I don't know. You Are My Sunshine?
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Pick a note.
My heart just started pounding so fast.
Oh, stop. You are my sunshine. okay?
Yeah.
Sunshine,
You
you
make
me
me
happy
happy
when
when
skies
skies are
gray.
gray.
We're singing it kind of like a round.
I
Hold
know.
on. We together?
You'll
You'll
never know,
dear,
how
how
much I love
this is
you.
funny.
I know.
Please
Please
don't
don't
take
take
my
my
sunshine
sunshine
away.
away. Okay,
This
that
is
was the most unsync portion of this entire
indeed.
video.
Indeed, it was rough.
I don't even know how that happened. So,
Can you delete that?
nope. Mom says, "Can I sing too?"
Yes. Get her on.
Put her on.
No, I'm teasing.
Well,
No,
another day.
we'll take her to the tunnel.
We'll take you, Mom. We'll take you to the tunnel. Amber, this has been fun. Thanks for agreeing to do it. I know that it made you a little bit nervous and a whole
Not
lot
at all.
excited.
Do you know me?
I know you.
It did not make me nervous.
When I very first asked you, you were like,
No.
"What?" She also said, "I've just been waiting for you to ask."
I knew you were going to ask.
I know. It's crazy how that works. So for those of you who are out there in Righteous Rebel Land, again, maybe coming from YouTube or LinkedIn, remember, live. From the main character in anime and anti-mame. And just don't give a rat's arse about what other people think about you.
Be bold.
Be bold.
Be brave.
Be
Be
a rebel.
a rebel.
We love you guys. We'll see you soon.